Yo, peace everybody. Mikey-Ice has a legendary guest coming on from the Shy, aka Shy Town, aka Chirac. She goes by the name of Lady Champ. So, we're gonna talk about some history. Yo, what's up, Art of Freestyle? How's it going though, brother? Suki, welcome to the page. Yo, I'm waiting for Lady Champ to get on. This is gonna be dope. There it is, Champ. You can request to join the video. I hope you guys stay tuned. It's gonna be dope. So yes, Champ, request a button at the bottom. It says request to join video. You see the little plus symbol at the bottom? Lady Champ 1212.
Hi.
There it is.
How are you?
Pretty good.
I feel like I'm meeting you in real life, like finally.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I wanted
This
to
is
show you
nice.
this hat. Look at this hat I got today.
Hey, represent.
And then
Built.
also,
Oh my God, you did really good. You did really good.
I
And that was the best era, the 90s Bulls.
oh my gosh. I grew up on the Bulls though. Honestly, when they won in '91, when Jordan hit that shot, we went crazy though, and everybody's like, "Why are you a Bulls fan?" I was like, "Bro, you don't understand."
And imagine you were that hype. Imagine how we felt. I mean, we
I
had
know.
chills every time they would come out because you know the Bulls theme would come on, and as they called their names, we had chills. We couldn't wait for every game. It was good.
Honestly, I hear like I was tripping though. Like I'll watch the game. I remember when Jordan hit the 6 3-pointers. I remember like I went to school. Everybody was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, and you know that documentary of Michael Jordan. I just love him. The reason they won is because yeah, he was hard on them, but that's how you make a champion. You got to practice hard. You got to work hard. You got to study hard. You gotta. It's beyond just hey, I'm gonna go to practice 5 minutes. No, you gotta go all in. Like that's how they were champions.
Chicago, like, and you know what's interesting about that? Like, the first time I really caught a glimpse of Chicago is when I heard Common Sense when he came out with Can I Borrow a Dollar?
I love. I adore. I adore Common. I was a fan of Common before he was even on the radio. We had an AM station,
Oh,
and there was a battle between him and I think another Chicago hip hop artist. And I was like, who is this guy? And I was following him ever since. And then when Soul by the Pound came out, that album, oh my God. I'm still a fan, but I was for sure a fan.
right. Um,
He's amazing. And now he's an actor. Okay.
I, I know though, crazy though, right? And I remember Tongue Twister.
Yes. Twista. Oh my God, another one. He was just insane with his lyrics, like
Yeah, him and Das Effect started that whole like,
yeah, nobody was
Twista
doing
and
that at
Das
the time.
Effect.
And it's legit. Like if you listen to him, you can hear every word, but you just got to slow it down a little.
Yeah, yeah. So, Lady Champ, can you introduce yourself to the people that are watching? Let them know who you are
Yeah.
and like what is your beginnings like with hip hop? Because I remember the first time I seen you, it was on MySpace.
Oh my God. He took me back.
And I remember
MySpace.
you were standing in the B girl pose, and you had your arms folded. You had a nameplate note that said "champ," and I was like, I was like, who is this girl? Though I was like, to me, that was just straight up B girlism. And this is MySpace. This is like 2000, I think 2003, 2005.
I thought, wow, MySpace I thought it was older. That's not bad. Um, yeah, so I'm Lady Champ from
Okay.
Chicago Champions Crew. I have a few other crews to represent, but yes, I've been breaking off and on since '92.
Woo.
Before I started breaking, my cousins were breaking in the '80s, and I used to ask them to teach me. I'm like, please teach me. They're like, get out of it, just like this. Get out of here, you're a girl. And I was like, but I'll learn. Just teach me what I need to do. I was a little kid, and they're like, nah, you're a girl. Get out of here. And I was like, whatever. And then the late '80s, I was a house dancer, competitive house dancer. Like I would
Mm.
come at anybody. I don't care. You come in my face, we're gonna battle. And then I went to a high school dance. You know how they throw them parties, those random parties. And the guys that I eventually got to know in my crew, I already knew them, but I didn't know them. But when I saw them get down, I was like, now I'm gonna learn, and no one can tell me no. And that's how it started.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I refused to give up. I was like, nope, not stopping. This is dope. I fell in love. I just fell in love.
You know what? 92 was a good year because I remember 92 when P Rock and CL Smooth came out. What I reminisce over you. These are
Oh
in
my God, I love
92.
that song still.
When he says in 92, like I remember like breaking was just about to make a comeback. It was just starting to make a comeback, especially on the West Coast.
And then my crew always stood out because my crew always they were geared up. Always had either a pair of Adidas, a pair of Pumas with the whole tracksuit. I mean, my crew always looked dope.
Mm.
They weren't just dope. They looked dope and they were dope. So that kind of set us apart from the other crews because the other crews you should just dress normal, but not my crew. They were dipped up from the floor up.
How many guys were in your
Oh my
crew?
God. There was so many people in my crew. I don't even know because not only it was my crew, but then we had not only b-boys, but like regular crew, and then we had like a cousin crew, and so it's like a lot of people, and they're kind of like I consider them family. So they're
Mm.
just like I have like 1,000 brothers and sisters and big family, big family.
That's tight. I was gonna ask you, do you remember there was a book, it was Chicago hip hop book. I think it was called Shy Rock or Chicago Rock.
Hmm.
You remember that? It was
I
like a
don't remember the
magazine.
book, but I think there still is Chirac Nation. Um, they're still around, but I don't
Yeah.
remember the book.
Oh, it was a brother named Artistic, like he put together. It was like a magazine.
Yeah, he's still around. He's still out there. Shout out to Artistic.
Yeah. So, oh man, that's so amazing. So when you were breaking though, like, were you like the only like B girl in the city, or was there other girls like you too as well in the early
So when I
90s?
started, it was me and my sister. She's not my sister, but she's my crew sister, Melly. She writes Orchid, and it was just me and her. But she was deep into graffiti, so she just like didn't get into the breaking. And there was girls here and there, but they were breaking just to like get close to the guys, and then they'll just be like all booed up, and they didn't care about the b-boying. And I was like,
Yeah.
and you can tell, I was like, ah, man, like again, you know. And I was just by myself, and at first it was cool because I was like always out there representing, but then it was like, man, I wish I had a girl to get down with, like somebody around. And at that time we didn't really have internet, so we didn't have internet.
Right.
So I didn't know there was other girls like Honey and Rock and Asia and Miss Twist and like I didn't know all these girls were around. Baby Girl, um, uh, I didn't know all these girls.
Mm.
Lucky, like there was a lot of girls around that I didn't know they were around. Beta, I mean, I could go on,
Mm-hmm.
and until later when I found out, I was like, oh my God, they were here all this time. What? You know?
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what, too? I had met Jay Boogie and the Brickheads when they came to the B-Boy Summit in '96, and there was two girls that were down with the Brickheads.
Uh,
Yep. One name was Araceli.
okay, I think she's.
Yep.
I don't. I don't think she's Brickhead now, but I know. I
No,
know.
no. Yeah, this was like back in '96.
And I don't know who the other person
Yeah, there
was.
was another girl. She was like straight up B girl. She went to the floor. She was Latina too. She kind of had curly hair.
I don't know.
I'll
Cause
find you a video one day and
yeah,
show
yeah,
you.
please, because you have like 1,000 million videos. Please. And I'll tell you who it is.
Oh,
But
okay.
no, like when I was out there, I was just out there like, and it was fun, don't get me wrong, but it was also like kind of lonely because the guys had the guys and I had the guys too, but it wasn't like the same, you know? Like
Yeah.
you want to bond, you know, like with, you know, like girl to girl, and I could be like, yeah, you get it, right? And they're like, yeah, I
Hmm.
get it. I could talk about things
You
that
know,
the guys don't get, you know?
right, right. But I noticed in the like early 2000s though, like you were representing pretty hard though too though. Like, what was that drive like for you to be like a big girl like 2005, 6, 7, 8 though?
Yeah,
Because
it's
every time
crazy
I seen you,
because I,
you
I,
always had the lady trucker hat, like with the airbrush on it and the nameplate belt. And I used to think like, damn, this girl, like she's always
yeah,
representing.
I was breaking before my kids. I was breaking during my kids. I was breaking. My kids are now grown, and I still like will be downstairs
Oh,
like training or practicing. You know, if I'm not doing that, I still get geared up. You know, I still represent. Like, I think it's a part of me. Well, I know it's a part of me. You know, so when they say I am hip hop, I am hip
I
hop.
believe it though. I believe it. Like, how did you get the name Lady Champ?
um, So one day it was me and my boy Antoine. Shout out to Antoine. He's in my crew, and I was telling him, man, I wanna, cause nobody knew who they knew of me as the girl, but they didn't have a name. And I was like, man, I want a name that represents my city and my crew, but
Mm.
still girly. And then we were coming up with all types of names, and I was like, I'm not feeling it. I don't like it. And then I was like, Lady Champ. Lady Champion, Lady Champ, Lady Champion. And it just stuck. When I would go out, people were like, oh my God, what's your name? And I'll be like, Lady Champ. I was cocky. I
Oh,
wasn't nice. I was like, what?
that's crazy. Did you ever used to go to the Scribble Jams?
I've been to one of the Scribble Jams and I passed out because it was so hot. And I had a
Oh,
crazy episode. I mean, for me, the Scribble Jam experience was not a good one. It was so hot. I didn't even want to be there. And then we went to a restaurant because, you know, Scribble Jam was kind of like in the middle of nowhere. We went to a restaurant and they wouldn't serve us. And I'm like, what is happening? Right. And I would see the waitress kept going to the man. He's like, no, but they were serving everyone after us. So we were like, well, let's just sit down. She'll eventually come over. Could you believe my boy goes, oh my God, let's get out of here. I was like, why? He's like, look at the sign. It said, we do not serve colors. They did not serve us. We ended up leaving. 1999. So we ended
damn.
up leaving. And I cried because I cried for everyone and who's ever been through those struggles. And I just cried. Not that day when I got home, and I guess because I was still processing it, like, is this really happening? Is this real?
Yeah.
And on the ride home, I was like, is this really? Did this? When I got home, I cried like, I cried, like I cried, and I had my hands like I remember crying, and I cried for everyone because you know, like when you see things, you're like, oh my God, that's horrible. But when you experience, you're like, oh my God, I already knew it was horrible, but and I didn't even get it bad. And imagine, like I was just crying for everyone in time. It was just horrible. And
Hmm.
we never reported. There was a cop in there. He didn't do nothing. But we never like would call the news or anything. I mean, we just like I just couldn't believe it and just
Right.
yeah.
I can't
1999.
I can't even imagine. I think if I was in that situation, I would have flipped out.
I didn't
I
know
can
what
tell you,
like we didn't know what to do.
I can tell you a few situations, but I won't say it on the camera because it's too crazy though. But
Yeah, but isn't
I've
it
been
crazy
bluntly,
that in modern times we're going through things like this still?
I've been I've been confronted with racism straight up in my face though. And at that time, me and my friends were like, "Yo, we got to take action because it's like six of those dudes and it's only like three of us." You know, in 1999. And I'm just thinking
What
like,
is
this is
happening?
crazy though because it's like some shit that I would see like on a civil rights movie though or something.
And
You know?
it's crazy because it's still happening. And especially with all the
Yeah.
politics now, it's happening even worse. Like
Mhm.
we were progressing at one point, and it's like we're backwards.
Yeah.
And I, I still, even talking about it, I'm still like, whoa, I cannot believe
Yeah.
they did not. And
Yeah.
they had a sign. It was a neon sign with black letters. And I was just like,
I would have tore that
that,
shit down. I know
he
me.
wanted to help us. She was looking at me like, I'm sorry, I can't. He said no. And I'm like, just like, what?
Oh
Yo, that was
no, thank
crazy. But
God.
Slow
I've
Jam was
never.
not a great experience for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
That's crazy though. So, Champ, I mentioned, like I know about Chicago, I know about all that. When it comes to the West Coast, like what sticks out in your mind when you think of us as our own coast with hip hop?
So when I
Like,
think of
what
West
does the West Coast
Coast,
mean to
I
you?
think of
Hmm.
Radiotron, because we had cassettes that I don't know who in my crew got the cassettes, but we were just like, oh my God, like these guys are crazy. Because the West Coast had so much power, and it was crazy because we were used to the style from the East Coast, and that's what I love
Yeah,
about the Midwest, because we have like a little bit of everything and everybody. Everywhere I go, I'm like, we have that, we have that, we have that, we have that. But when we were coming up, we were just blown away by Radiotron. We were just like, what is this? The guys did graffiti also. I didn't, but they were just like, epic graffiti. And I was just like, I'm still blown away by the b-boying. You're on the graffiti. I'm still here. It was insane. So that sticks
yeah.
out a lot to me.
Hmm.
And the
What's
funk, the music,
yes,
and the popping, the locking. Um,
right.
which I never got to learn because I always said that if I did learn, I want to learn from somebody in the West Coast.
You
So,
know, what's crazy though? I think from my knowledge, I think Soul Train came out of Chicago and then it went to LA.
dang, it could be
Yeah,
because
it
I mean,
started in
LA was
Chicago and
where
then
everything was.
hmm
New York and LA is where
yeah.
filming and everything was.
So
So that could be
another thing,
true.
right? So another thing I want to ask you, like growing up in Chicago, I was told that if you wear your hat like this, it means something. You wear your hat like this, it means something. And I'm thinking like just the way that you wear your hat,
Yo,
like can you explain that? What does that
it
mean?
wasn't only your hat; it's the clothes you wear. If you wore Duke, Georgetown, like certain sports. If I don't know, there's a hockey team with black and yellow. You wore that, you're dead for sure. Because it was all about colors. If you wear this, you're folks. If you wear this, you're people. If you wear this, you're this. And you will get jumped,
Oh,
you will get beat up. There was a B-boy who stood in my house. He didn't have nowhere to stay. And we're like, yeah, stay with us. We're telling him clearly, do not wear your hat to the side. Do not wear colors when they drop you off because Chicago is dangerous. This boy was acting crazy, sticking his head out the car, blah, blah, blah. They bricked him, busted his head, had to take him to the hospital. And he's lucky that he only got bricked because usually you would get shot at.
yeah,
And we told him. And ever since then, he would just sit in the car like, I'm not, nope, nope. But we warned him like, yo, you don't do that here. This is not New York, yo. Like, it's not. It's different.
yeah.
It's different.
I heard a
Thank
lot.
God it's not as bad anymore, but you still have your little rough neighborhoods.
Yeah, I remember I have read this book. It was called The Makings of a Latin King.
That's the black and yellow right there. Black and
When I read that
yellow.
book, I was like Humble Park. The way that they describe Humble
Pretty
Park
reasonable part,
and the
yep. I grew up
and the
around the Kings.
and then the Cabrini Greens projects. I heard they
They're
were
gone, right? They're gone.
splashing
Uh,
faces.
we wouldn't even drive by the Cabrini Greens. It was so bad. It was that bad.
Was it that
And
bad?
yeah, yeah, you couldn't like. It was. You already knew when you were going in because the neighborhood just like changed. It was like regular neighborhood, and it was like going to Gotham. It was just like what? What happened? I grew up in the Kings neighborhood, so it was black and yellow. And if people came to visit me, which nobody ever would because they would get jumped, I was like, you're going to come to my house at your own risk because I'm not, like, I can't save you if they try to jump you, you know? It was rough. And even going from my house to high school, they'll be like, oh, they're from that hood. But we weren't gaming. We didn't have time for that, you know? Plus, we had a rough mom, a tough mom, a single mom with 3 kids. She would beat us if she ever saw us out there. She literally beat my brother. One day she was out there trying to gangbang. Ooh, she got out the car. She beat him up. He never did it again.
I used to hear about that park, Humboldt Park, in that book, and then they had the Netas and the Latin Kings, and then I heard Zulu Nation was like an issue in Chicago because a lot of the Boricuas was together with the blacks, and the Kings didn't like that.
No, I never really heard about that. I know that
it was in a book that I was reading, The Making of the Latin King.
Yeah, nobody really messed with the gangbangers, so it was like.
Was Zulu in Chicago when you were breaking pretty strong?
The what?
Was Zulu Nation big in Chicago when you were coming up and breaking?
But I think they were more big in the South Side.
Okay.
So, you know, like, it's sad because the city is big, but it's not that big, but it is big. So most Southsiders never come up north. And most Northwest-siders, we never go down south. So that's one thing I regret in my b-boying life, that I never went to the South Side and been like, yo, I'm Lady Champ, I'm battling, you know, all of you. I never did that. But like North and the West and that, even suburbs, everyone knew who I was.
Yeah.
But we just never, I don't know, the South Side is so weird. Like, it's different. It's not like the streetwise, they cut off, they turn here, there's a warehouse here. It's weird. Like up here, the streets are kind of regular, you know? And to them, we're probably weird too. Like, they're weird up there, you know?
Right.
It's so congested. There's too many people.
I think for me, since I'm a huge Chicago Bulls fan, like, I think me just being in Chicago, I think I would just be losing it because I grew up so hard on this, like, on Chicago, though. Like, I remember, I've never been there.
I would say the first place you should go to as a Chicago fan is the Bulls Stadium.
Yes.
I think you would be in love. I mean, there's
the
so
Jordan
much
statue too.
Yeah, there's so much. He has a steak restaurant also. There's so much to see and do, especially in the summer. I have an event with the Renegades of Funk in the first or second weekend of August. Keep you posted. But if you're gonna come, that's the best weekend to come because not only can you see the city in summertime, Chicago in summertime is amazing.
What?
And then you would have the event, plus you'll have like so many other things to go see. You have to see the lakefront. You have to see the Sears Tower. You have to see the Bulls Stadium. You have to, there's so much to experience, not only in the city, around the city. So, you know, there's a boat tour you can take. There's like so much you can do.
I heard that Chicago has one of the best pizzas in the world. Is that true?
I love our pizza. But New Yorkers always want to say that they have the best pizza. I don't know, pizza's pizza. But I say we have really good pizza. Honestly, we have really good everything. Because as much as I've traveled and I've tasted food from everywhere, I can admit and I can say that we have the best food all around. All around. So when you come, you have a lot of restaurants to visit.
I love the Chicago deep dish pizza. We will always order that. I don't know why.
So good.
I didn't care it was from Chicago, but I was like, damn, this pizza is hella good. But it was Chicago deep dish.
It's good. It's really good. But New Yorkers are like, what? That's not pizza. What is that? And we're like, it's deep dish. I don't know. But they don't consider it pizza.
Oh, okay. Yo, I think Sloan 4 is on here though from Watts. What's up, Sloan?
That's my prize. We're in the same crew. I'm an honorary member. Thank you, Sloan.
Did you know I was down with Watts like back in '96? Wizards of the Styles?
No, I'm an honorary member. I'm still down with Watts crew.
Yeah, he'll tell you. Yeah, this is back. He gave me the chapter. I think we were the California chapter.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to know how you have all this footage and all these things. Like every time I'm scrolling, I'm like, yo, that's good. Of course, Mikey-Ice. Of course. And I'm like, oh, of course, of course. Like when I'm scrolling, I already know that it's you because you only have the dopest
Yeah.
footage. I'm like, how is he doing that? That's
The reason
crazy.
why I got all this dope footage because like in 91, 92, I started asking my friends, like I was like, yo, let's get back into breaking though. You know, and they were like, for reals? I said, yeah. I said, pull out that Wild Style tape. So I got the Wild Style tape and I started watching it. And then back in the day, like you could go to Sears and you can buy a double VCR. And so what I would do is that I would get people would trade me tapes, like how you would trade like cards. So I would trade that tape, and I would record it, and then I would pass it on.
So
And then I found out
you
people,
saved all this? You
huh? Yes.
saved all? Oh my God! How many cassettes do you have?
I say like combined, like I say maybe close to like 300 VHSs.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah. It took a long time to get to that level, though. You know what I'm saying? Like it took basically like 30
Man,
years of like just
but what you
collecting.
have is so precious because a lot of those tapes that you dubbed are lost,
Oh,
gone,
oh
nobody knows where
yeah.
they're at, and you still preserve that and have it, and then to see yourself, like not you, but whoever was in those videos, like I'll be like, oh my God, where did you get this from? Oh my God, I never saw this. I mean, I'm sure you make a lot of people happy.
Oh yeah, like when I first started going hard on the internet with it, everybody started reaching out. Papas, Black, Wicked, like all those guys, Mr. Do, Smoke, everybody
And
was tripping. They were sending me messages on B-Boy World like, yo, how'd you get that practice footage of me? I had everything. Um,
see, and
all
that's
the
what I'm
city
saying.
versus
Like,
cities,
I would be
everything.
so honored to watch that. Like, if you have something of me, I'll be like, how? Oh my God, I never even saw that. How are you doing it?
Yeah.
Just keep preserving these things.
I think it's important though too, champ, because hip hop turned 50 this year, and I feel like as a b-boy, you know, like we have to preserve like our own legacy though too, because another 50 years from now it's going to be looked at again. Even this interview is going to be looked at. I know it's going to be looked at like 10 years from now, and everybody's going to be like, damn, did you see that Mike Tyson champ video? Where it's going to be in like some exclusive like university or some professional studio, and people are going to be talking about this though too, because a lot of people that I see, it's kind of like they're they're starting to like understand podcasting and like having conversations. So I see it starting to build up slowly,
Yep.
you know. And then once it goes to the Olympic and it really starts getting commercialized, though, like all this history is going to be talked about. How like when people bring up, you know, like a history like inside of a class or university, and I believe that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And shout out to my brother Tech.
Oh, that's your
He
brother?
well, he's not my real brother, but I always call him my brother.
Okay.
He is amazing, and he always like keeps me inspired, and he's always pushing me, and he's always like documenting everything, not only in our
Yeah.
lives, but like in everybody's lives. This guy has so much footage, so many interviews, so many things that I'm always like blown away by him, and yeah, I'm inspired by him, blown away by him, thankful to him. Like we have
Hmm.
so much fun when we're always filming, when we practice, anything we do together. We have so much fun. I have so much love and respect for him. So
Yeah. I have a YouTube channel though too. Did you know about it?
no,
You watch YouTube or not really?
not really. If I do,
I use
play.
YouTube so I can watch the Bulls games, the highlights.
I just play. Um, I play videos while I clean so I can hear it, and then if I walk by and it's a good video, I'll just sit and watch it, and then I'll keep cleaning. But I
Yeah.
just leave it on to like listen. But maybe see,
Okay.
I could listen to you because I'm just listening. I don't really
Yeah.
watch it.
I mean, I have some dope interviews on here though, to be honest with you. Like I'm trying to get what's her name? Bubbles. She's from the UK, the first B girl from the UK. She was the first girl to do like nutcrackers and handcuffs and everything.
Damn,
The first B girl for the UK. This is like 1982. She could do power moves.
I think I've heard of her.
Oh, her name
Um,
is Hafana, Queen Hafana.
And
Well, she
and
her B girl name was Bubbles.
and she does interviews and stuff.
Uh, I don't think she has done one in a while, but I think with me, like she said that basically she be willing, So I'm trying to get all the ladies like yourself, documented like for this year because I know a lot of times, um, people personally, I don't think they really reach out, to individuals like yourself though too, because you have an amazing story though too, and I want you to speak on that. I know that you went through something that was really critical to your life. Could you share that?
Yeah. In 2007, life was beautiful. I was living the dream. I was traveling everywhere. I was breaking and I was boxing. I was training to go pro. So I was fit, had a six pack, little cuts everywhere. I was super cool. I was living life, enjoying my kids and enjoying life. Life was beautiful. And one day, uh, it started with little symptoms. One day I had a headache. It went from here, down my spinal cord. And I was with Tech that day. We were going to go break. And I was like, yo, Tech, I can't break. I have a weird headache. So I went home. The next day I was getting ready for work and I'm like itching. I didn't even realize it, and then I get to work. My coworker, she's like, hey, did you take a shower this morning? And I was like, yeah, duh. I take a shower every morning. She's like, why are you
Mm.
itching? And I was like, damn, I don't know. So I went in the room and I had a little shirt under my shirt. I took it off, had hives everywhere. And they were like, you have allergies. And I was like, I don't. So they gave me allergy pill. Didn't think about it because I never got sick. The next day, I was walking and I felt like I was walking on really hot sand. You know when you walk on hot sand that you're like, so I was walking and I was like, oh my God, it hurt. The next day, my legs were super weak. I went to the hospital. I went to the wrong hospital because he was like, "Oh, it's just allergies," and I was like, "I can't move my legs. What do you mean?" He's like, "If it gets worse, just come back." So I went home. Something I I couldn't. I was like, "Something's wrong. I can't move." So I went to a different hospital. They took me in right away. And they were like, you went to another hospital? They sent you home like this? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh my God, what a stupid doctor. The lady starts yelling, I need a catheter, MRI, CAT scans. She's screaming. I didn't know what was going on. So they did my MRI and they saw like a virus going up my spinal cord. So my spinal cord, your spinal cord is usually really skinny and mine was swelling from the bottom up. So as it was swelling, I was losing function. So it took out one leg first, my other leg, my bladder,
Mm.
and they caught it right here, my ribs. And they started giving me antibiotics and steroids, which helped stop it. Because if not, it was just gonna just kill me. But it didn't reverse anything. So I was still paralyzed. They stopped it, but I was still paralyzed.
Oh.
The doctors came in. They told me I was never going to walk again. And I was like, they came to my bed and they're all standing around me. And I was like, do you know who I am? And they were like, Miss Nunez? And I was like, I'm Lady Champ. I will be walking in 2 weeks. And they were like, do you know how severe this is? And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to be walking in 2 weeks. And they were like, oh my God, like she's so stubborn. And yes, it took me way longer than 2 weeks. But I refused to give up. I refused to believe that I wasn't gonna walk. And people would ask me like, "Well, you can't dance now. How are you gonna be involved in the culture?" And I was like, "I could still throw events. I could still speak. I could still support. I could still,
Mhm.
like I had a list of what I could still do. Just because I'm not walking doesn't mean I cannot be involved." And so people would be like, "Damn, she's crazy." So I went home in a wheelchair still. I taught myself with great therapy. Thank you to Schwab Rehab Center. I took what they taught me and I took it home and I taught myself how to stand and then slowly how to walk and then slowly how to, later, eventually how to dance again. It was a process. It was like when I read what I write about it drains me. It's so exhausting. I can't believe that I did that. It was
Mm.
very powerful. Um, but that's just how I am. I'm a fighter, and my stepdad always tells me this. He's like, Lady Champ fits you because you're a fighter. You never give up. And I love that he sees that, and he always says that, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it fits me perfect, you know. It was meant for me. So
That's a
yeah.
beautiful story because I remember when I first heard it on MySpace, like it was just kind of like one of those stories where it was like because I know Wicked had went through the same thing too. It's not the same thing, but he had went through something though too as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
You
He
know?
went through like a cancer scare,
Yeah. So
and it was crazy because we were all like, "What? But he's so young," you know, like. But I guess, you know, obviously it doesn't matter your age, your race, your gender,
yeah.
you know. But
Hmm.
and then one question I get asked most is, how did this happen? Um, so I had these pair of sneakers that gave me athlete's foot. They were black, white, and purple. And I took a shower at the gym, and I didn't have sandals on. So, you know, when you take a shower or walk anywhere barefoot where there's sitting water, you're most likely to catch an infection. And that's what happened. So I caught
Oh,
that infection through the cut on my feet, and it worked its way up to my spinal cord. And just like that, my life changed. So public
that's
service
crazy.
announcement. You guys stay anywhere or going anywhere with sitting water, wear sandals. Please don't walk around barefoot. Just wear sandals.
That's crazy though. Thank you for surviving that and sharing that story though. I wanted to hear it,
Thank
you know.
you. Thank
It's
you.
amazing. So also when you were breaking like, pretty heavily though in Chicago though, like what was some of the best crews though? Because I know there was, dang, who was there really though? I know there was Phase Two, of course, and what was it, Chicago Tribe?
There, yeah. So when I
And
started,
what was it?
the main crews and the top three crews that everyone will mention is us, Chicago Champions crew, Brickheads, and Phase Two. Top three. There, of course, there was other crews here and there, but they were just like little crews, or like, you know, like we're not even gonna battle you, you know, like no.
Hmm.
And it was because it was just us. We were the main rivals, and we were rivals. When we would battle after battle, there was a fight. And I'm a girl, and I was involved in some of those fights. Like it was crazy.
I
And that's the
know
Chicago way. That's the
I
same.
noticed
That's
that
the Chicago way.
Chicago was down for fighting though. I remember Papa seeing him like that dude was swinging on.
Papas was crazy. Rest in peace. He was amazing, but he was crazy. He was a
Hmm.
beast. I was like, I wouldn't say nothing. I'll be like, I'm not messing with him. He's crazy.
Yeah,
He was a sweetheart though.
yeah. That's I heard about his situation though too. It was kind of sad though, but
He was so young, man.
I know, huh? Yeah. Okay, Lady Champ. So let me just ask you, because I know you probably got something to do though. But what do you think about the B girls today though? Like, how do you sum it up though? Like, when
I
you see
I,
breaking today,
I
especially
love
on the
I
internet.
love seeing it. I love seeing it because I'm like, there's so many girls and they're freaking dope. They're not good. They're dope. And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, like I, you know, when we were coming up, it was like we were dope, but these girls are like superhero dope. Like I'm like, how it like what? But they have the blueprints. You know, we everybody passed down the blueprints. Hold on a second.
Okay.
They have the blueprints. They have each each generation or people guiding them. They have classes now. They have internet now. They have, like there's a lot of resources for them. They have open
Mm-hmm.
practice. You can travel to a jam. We didn't have that. So
Mm-hmm.
so they have it a lot easier. Even when I go to some of these open practices, I can tell you everything people are doing wrong. And I'm like, oh, you gotta whip your leg. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, you gotta let your shoulders go. Yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you everything that I can. And so I'll give them tips and advice, and they take it. And right when they do it, the way I said, they take off. And so they have guidance. We didn't have that. We
Right.
were trial and error. We were going along with whatever we think we saw, or how, I think a track goes like this, but let me practice it again and again. I can be like, no, place your hand now. They
Mm-hmm.
have so much guidance, which is why they're way better. And if they're that good now, imagine the future generation of women and kids. It's going to be insane. These
Yeah.
kids, too, they're sick with it. Oh my God. They're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're on another level, like literally. Like,
Yeah. That's so true. Thank you for sharing that too. I guess what I can say though, too, to end it off though, like if you have some advice that you would share for today's generation or whoever's watching, something to like encourage them, maybe some things that mistakes that you would have made in the past that you kind of look like, now today you look back and say, dang, if I could change that, like what would it be?
not really if I can change it, because I feel like everybody's path is different and everybody
Hmm.
has their path for a reason. But my advice and tip that I give everybody all the time, B-boy, not anything you do in life, if you want to pursue that, practice makes perfect. If you want to do that and you want to be a Michael Jordan, practice makes perfect. I mean, look at Michael Jordan and look at Kobe. When they went to practice, Kobe would get there like a few hours before regular practice. Like you have to be ready. You want to take that on and you want to be dope, you got to practice hard. You got to sacrifice. You got to eat it, eat, breathe hip hop all day, every day, like, and breaking, just be like involved, or work, or, gymnastics, or whatever it is that you want to do. You have to practice, 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 practice if you want to be good. But if you want to be average, mm, you know, but you
Yeah.
want to be good, you got to master your craft.
And that's how
There's another-
I feel too.
That's a tip and advice I give everybody. Practice makes perfect.
Thank you for sharing that though too. I appreciate you. So do you practice at all? Because now I work Monday through Friday and I only have the weekends to break though. When do you dance?
So yeah, lately I've been doing a lot of stuff because we just got a house, and um, with the packing and then unpacking, and then it's all about the house and work, and so I have space now. So yes, I've been starting off slowly, doing a lot of stretching and doing basics, but real slow, just to get my body back into it,
Mhm.
and let me tell you, with that little tiny bit that I do, my body just feels great, because I'm like, my body feels like I'm back. I needed this. I've been feeding for this. So I feel so good, when I stretch, when I do little things here and there, because I feel like I'm 16 again. It's so
I
crazy
love
how
it.
doing little things like that could take me back into time. And maybe that's why I look, so young. Like, a lot of people are always like, "You look so young. I would never guess." And I think the breaking and the hip hop life just keeps you youthful,
It does.
And it's a blessing.
Yeah,
Thank you, hip hop.
it does.
Thank you,
It
Brittany.
does. So one more other thing too, I know that the nameplate belt thing, is that like a side business or is that
Yeah,
something that you try to do to,
yeah,
huh?
yes. I always, don't ask me why I wanted to sell belt buckles. Um, so last year I just started, but I was like, there's a lot of things going on in life, so I didn't really have time. But I want to start doing like a page for that, and I want to start going out to b-boy battles, and just sell any and everywhere. I love them, and I think they're so classic, and I don't know, they're so beautiful to me. I
Hmm.
love them.
So let people know if they want to get one from you, you can.
Yes, you can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on Facebook. You can hit me up on Snapchat. I think I'm under Lady Champ. But yeah, I'm like, I make them myself. I make them with love, and I don't know, they look so good.
Yeah, I like them though. I think the nameplate belt,
Aren't they
it's everything to
classic?
breaking.
They're
It
so
is though. It's just like the
classic.
Kango. It's like the nameplate belt and the Kango goes together.
Yes, yes,
They go together. It's like a package.
yeah, and it looks so dope too, especially if you rock it right. You're like, damn.
Yeah, if you tuck in your shirt and and the sun is out, like you can see the letters, they shining like damn.
Yeah, you gotta let it bling.
Yeah. Okay, champ. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it. Like this is it
We
means a
gotta do
lot.
this. It just feels like we're just hanging out.
Right, exactly. We're basically getting introduced to each other. It's the first time being speaking to
Yeah,
you. So
yeah,
we can continue it because I know people always ask, like, can they bring this person back on? So whenever
yeah.
you're
Definitely come
available,
back. We'll have fun. It's fun.
right, next time when you're available, maybe you can even show some of your merchandise that you got, and we can try to see if we can promote that.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, I make them myself and I make them with love.
All right.
Yeah.
So yes, Happy New Year's to you,
Yes,
and
Happy New Year. Have a beautiful, prosperous New Year. Let's get it.
all right, I'll be in touch.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna when I get paid on Friday, I'm gonna reach out to you because I want mine done. I think I'm just gonna get it Mike-Ice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I
Mike-Ice
saw,
will be
yeah,
good.
I got you. I'm
Okay.
gonna go play with it downstairs right now and be like,
So when I do I gotta get my own belt, or does it come with the belt?
I can give you the belt. You
Oh,
just tell me what size,
okay.
small, medium, large, or extra large.
Extra large.
Got it.
Okay. How long does something like that take
It
if you start working on
takes
it?
it takes a few minutes. It takes, but because
So,
every time, like let's say that you're here and you order it, I always make it in front of you or whoever I'm making it in front of. And because I'm always distracted talking to people, it takes me a little longer. But if it's just me by myself, it's fast. And not really that
okay.
fast, because every time I do them by myself, I'm watching TV and I'm just like, like, ah. But I love making the belts. I love making them. Like, you should see me
Yeah,
when I'm making them.
yeah, shoot me some pictures or something so I can help you promote it. Like take pictures of whatever you got, maybe 5 or 6
Thank
different
you,
ones.
thank you, thank
I'll throw
you, thank
some
you,
music on it, make it look all fresh with the lettering.
thank you. I'm like, yeah.
Okay?
Thank you. And it's crazy because I think you're like the fourth person this week. Like, you gotta keep on. You were doing so good. You gotta keep on. And I'm like, I know, it's just with the moving process, I'm still unpacking, even though like the main stuff is unpacked, but I still have a lot to unpack. So
That's what
that's, after
people tell me
that,
the same thing with yeah, people tell me the same thing with the interviews, Mike. People are calling me like, bro, you're doing some shit right now, bro. Keep it going, keep it going. So I'm just really trying to keep just trying to start everything fresh with new eyes. I'm excited that hip hop turns 50. Like I'm probably like hip hop's biggest fan. So for me, all this matters. It matters
oh,
big time
yes,
because I want 2023 when I look back and we go into the new year, like it's like when you do your blessings and you plant all your seeds around the world, like they have to grow.
yes, yes.
So I'm
And that's
starting
why I said,
in
let's get it.
January.
Let's get
All right,
it.
champ. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I had a blast.
Me too.
Thank you. And I'm down to do it again.
Okay.
Cool.
Peace.
August, the second week of August, I believe.
All right.
So I'll keep you posted. I'll be posting all about it. As soon as I find out, I'll let you know behind the scenes because I can get the dates for you.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Peace out.
Peace.